take a look at the Arkansas lineup that starts with Reagan Johnson playing in center field. Lineup always features Bree Ellis and her unreal numbers hitting behind her. Ella McDowell, who had that biggest swing of the night in the Friday opener. Sydney Lessentine in the circle for A&M, and as we said, it's two freshmen. Sydney Lessentine against Peyton Burnham today.
Yeah, Will, two freshmen who have stepped up, been big roles in the circle this year for the Aggies and the Razorbacks.
Already behind the count, Sydney Lessentine, but it has been a very good first season of collegiate softball for her, making her 9th start of the year. But issues a 4-pitch walk immediately to Reagan Johnson. And Johnson has speed. Arkansas does not run a lot, but Johnson herself will.
Scouting report for Sydney Lessentine. She's going to throw in the mid-60s. She likes to change speeds, and unlike that 4-pitch walk, we're going to see her pound the zone. Again, you definitely don't want to let a player like Reagan Johnson, especially in the leadoff spot, you just talked about her speed, you don't want to let her on top of the first, no outs. Kind of let Arkansas set the table a little bit early.
Reagan Kramer at the plate. Kramer had a couple of hits last night. So talking about Johnson on first base, her speed. Arkansas not a team that runs a lot, but basically half of their stolen base numbers, steals and attempts, half of their numbers basically belong to Johnson. She's 17 of 19 this year.
Yeah, Reagan Johnson, one of the fastest players that I think we've seen all season.
Sydney Lessentine doesn't want to lose 2 Arkansas hitters before Bree Ellis comes to the plate. Stays in there with a strike against Reagan Kramer, and it creates a full count. Check swing over toward the A&M dugout. The last place you want to be as a pitcher is 2 on, nobody out, and Bree Ellis coming to the plate. And that is exactly where Sydney Lessentine will be to start her day. 2 walks. And here comes Ellis with those, as we described them last night, video game-like numbers.
Well, this is exactly what Arkansas is looking to do with how they set up their lineup. Reagan Johnson, again, with the speed in the leadoff spot, and then Reagan Kramer, a .500 on-base percentage. So this is exactly what the Razorbacks are looking to do, get 2 runners on for Bree Ellis to come up and provide the power.
Well, Sydney Lessentine in a tight spot, but no fear on the first pitch. Right on the inside corner for a strike. Got Ellis to pop up to shallow center field. Coming in is Allie Enright, and that's about as big an out as a freshman can get.
Yeah, you said it, Will. That's exactly what the Aggies are trying to do. And this weekend so far, they have been able to contain Bree Ellis really well. I mean, as best as you possibly can. And already I think we're going to see a change here.
Trisha Ford is out, and 3 batters into the game. Sydney Lessentine is out. New Aggie pitcher coming up.
Now in the circle for the Aggies, it's number 25, Emily Levin.
First on this Saturday. 3 batters into the game. Tricia Ford, the Aggies head coach, goes out and gets Sydney Lessentine and puts Emily Levitt into the circle now.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprising move here, but we have seen Tricia Ford go to the bullpen and then bring the starting pitcher back. So not 100% sure if that's what the Aggies are looking to do here, but I guess time will tell.
Yeah, could be a game plan. Could be something she saw with Sydney Lessentine. Don't know. Lessentine did walk the first two hitters she faced. One of them was a 4-pitch walk. Here's Ella McDowell, who had the biggest swing of the bat last night. But Lessentine did get a big out of Bree Ellis. Wonder if she also thought maybe left a pitch too far over the plate for Ellis, and Ellis just missed it. So
right. Well, Emily Levitt throws in the mid-60s. She's going to work the rise and curve, and then she'll drop in a changeup here and there.
Center field, Ella McDowell. Allie Enright makes the play. Reagan Johnson bluffed going to third base, and the throw went over there. The Razorback runners stay put at first and second. So the first two aboard for Arkansas via the walks, then 2 flyouts to center, and a chance for the Aggies to get out of this unscathed. They'll have to get Kaylee Wyckoff if they're going to throw up a 0 on the board in the top of 1.
Yeah, nice job by Emily Levitt coming in 2 pitches, able to get a fly ball. And that holds both runners at first and second.
A pitch away. Wyckoff swinging, fouled it straight back to the netting. Last night we were delayed 2 hours and 12 minutes before we started. No such thing today. A pretty Saturday with a light breeze, some clouds above us, but a nice day to enjoy this top 10 matchup from what is one of the best facilities in all of college softball, Davis Diamond on A&M's West Campus. Wyckoff, a ground ball to KK Dement, and Arkansas will strand 2. Couple of walks.
Throw it in any count, something that the hitters always have to keep in mind. She's got in her back pocket.
Kennedy Powell leading it off. Powell, the transfer from UCLA, has already started over 100 games at A&M since arriving at College Station. She'll lead it off, followed by Amari Harper, who is having a terrific season. KK Dement in the lineup again today. Nice bunt by Kennedy Powell, and she is on first as a leadoff hitter. Now, wait a minute, they're calling her back to home plate. We take another look at it. That is a fair ball from my look.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're calling her back. Oh, she stepped out of the box.
Jeff Harger, the third base coach for Texas A&M, talking with home plate umpire Alex Leap. So you highlight KK Dement in the lineup today for A&M. She drove in 3 runs last night, the freshman. So looked like a great bunt by Powell. She's called back to home plate with an 0-2 count.
That's about as picture perfect as you can get on a bunt. Just great placement. Kind of started spinning back towards the foul line down third base, but stayed fair. Miller picked it up in fair territory.
Quick throw and a collision at first base, and Bree Ellis is down on the errant throw by Ella McDowell. Ellis now up rather quickly.
Let's take another look at this. Kennedy Powell just gets the bat on that one. Well outside. This throw takes Bree Ellis up and out. And then Kennedy Powell looks like tripped over her back leg. Looks like she tripped over her Brie Ellis's back leg that was still on first base.
You saw the concern in Peyton Burnham's eyes. Her power hitter and first baseman having gone down, but eventually Brie Ellis popped up pretty quick. Courtney Deifel now in conversation with our umpiring crew.
Oh, it looks like, okay. It looks like Kennedy Powell may have stepped on Ellis's heel when she was getting through first base. And then both of them, Kennedy Powell takes a tumble there.
Well, the errant throw by McDowell somewhat took Ellis toward the runner in Powell,
Right.
who was coming up the line. There's not a whole lot either one of them could have done about it, just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Both of them are up and okay. So
And
we
that's
play
what you
on.
like to see,
Yep.
more than anything. Amari Harper at the plate.
See Amari Harper's reached base safely in 22 straight games. That's a career high for Harper. She had a couple strikeouts last night, but able to draw a walk late. Got Maya Perez to the plate in the bottom of the seventh.
Runner goes. In there. Kennedy Powell. Powell 19 for 19 on her stolen base attempts this year. And a big pitch by Courtney Burnham, a call, strike three to Amari Harper. There's Maya Perez. Goes the opposite way. It's going to get into foul territory. Trying to run it down. And Reagan Kramer gets there.
Nice play by Kramer. Covered quite a bit of ground. She catches that one almost towards the wall down the third base line. That's a big out when you know the kind of power that Maya Perez provides in that three-hole.
Mac Barbara. Hit that well to right and A&M.
Well, how about Mac Barbara getting her hands elevated through that up pitch? Sends it over the right field wall, 72 miles an hour off the bat. Gets the Aggies on the board, 2-0 here at the bottom of the first.
Coco Woolley the opposite way. That will end the inning, but the Aggies strike first with the two-run homer from Mac Barbara. Bubbles in the air early. That Davis teams will be top 8 national seeds. It's not out of the question that the Aggies would be the #1 overall seed, but in any case, if you're a top 8, that means you host everything on the path to Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series. You would get a regional at home, and should you advance, you would host a super regional as well. This is hit well to left field, but close to the track. Kramer Eshte will make the catch off the bat of Courtney Day.
Well, and to that, home field advantage has become all the more important. The way that the game of softball has grown feels like over the last 10, 15 years, these crowds, you look at the one here at Davis Diamond today, and you think about regionals, super regionals, you want your home fans there to support.
Especially these SEC venues where those fans are so boisterous, whether it's in College Station or Fayetteville.
Absolutely. I was going to say both fan bases show up and show out, and you want to be playing in front of your home crowd. It can be a little bit of a game changer at times. The 12th man, we know with the ball 5 chants and all of that. I know Fayetteville's also got a great fan base up in Arkansas, and so both teams would like to play as much as they can on their home field.
Well, we thought this series would be a super regional type atmosphere. Even though we were delayed 2 hours last night, there were still over 2,300 fans here at Davis Diamond. May top that here today.
Yeah, the way that the fans hung around, it was humid on the concourse, but they hung around.
It wasn't a comfortable situation waiting that long.
It was not.
Italia Rio is the hitter. She's got a 1-2 count. It's so much at stake. Feels like something rides with every pitch as we go down the stretch in regular season and SEC play, and stretching out, getting back to the track to make that grab, Allie Enright.
This one jumps off the bat by Rio. Allie Enright does a really nice job in center field of, you watch her drop step and then flips her hips when she saw that ball kind of tailing, able to stay with the ball and make the play.
A couple of goods. Day flew out close to the track in left field. Rio flies out deep to the track in center field. Carly Davison at the plate. Emily Levitt has come in and done excellent work, trying to keep the Razorbacks off the board through 2. And if you're just joining us, it's Sydney Lessentine that started the game in the circle for A&M. She threw to 3 batters and was lifted for Emily Levitt. Lessentine walked the first 2 Razorbacks up to the plate in the top of the first, then got a big fly out of Bree Ellis. And that's when Tricia Ford came into the circle to get her and put Levitt into the game.
We've seen Levitt in a couple relief performances this year just do a really nice job of coming in and shutting things down. She had an excellent performance in relief against Georgia when the Bulldogs jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the first. She came in and pitched 4 or 5 scoreless innings in Athens. Gave the Aggies a chance to come back. They ended up taking game 2 there in what ended up just being a 2-game series. But when Emily Levitt's stuff is on, which she's just seemed to find that a little bit more consistency this season, Tricia Ford feels like she can go to her in these situations.
Running that down in right field, Amari Harper. 3 up, 3 down, somewhat 3 well-struck balls. And then Dee Dee Baldwin, the freshman who catches today for A&M. Ground ball by Enright immediately, and she's thrown out by Carly Davis.
That's a great play. In the hole over at second base, Davison able to get to it, turns and fires pretty much all the way from second base. Davison anchors the infield, according to Courtney Deifel.
KK Dement, the freshman, who had 3 RBIs last night, but a check swing here and an easy play for Carly Davison. So as we were telling you last night, if you were with us, A&M suffered an injury to their catcher, Olivia Johnson, this week in practice. Johnson with a lower leg injury out for the year. Tricia Ford had Grayson Coleman behind the plate last night. And today it is the freshman from New Braunfels, Dee Dee Baldwin, hitting from the right side. So Olivia Johnson out for the remainder of the year as one of the Aggie catchers. And that those duties likely fall to Grayson Coleman and Dee Dee Baldwin the rest of the way. Baldwin hitting .235. That's 4 for 17. This is her 8th start of the year in her first collegiate season.
That catching position for the Aggies was kind of a rotating spot. But Olivia Johnson getting most of those games, and then Grayson Coleman, Dee Dee Baldwin kind of working in. Felt like every second or third game. But with Olivia Johnson out, Grayson and Dee Dee are going to have to step up.
Check swing, they appeal or check with first base umpire Tatum Stolting. Baldwin did not go around. Full count. And she draws a walk, 2-out base runner for A&M. Kramer Eshte will try to turn the lineup over. Coming in left field, Reagan Kramer. She'll make the catch. That will end the inning. Through 2, A&M 2, Arkansas nothing. First pitch to Kennedy Miller from Emily Levitt. That will miss. It's 1-0. We were talking to Tricia Ford before the game. She acknowledged that Arkansas a really good road team this year. They have not shied away on the road in any venue, and they've been impressive away from Fayetteville this year. The highlight is probably their series win in Knoxville at Tennessee in March. Yes, that Tennessee, the current #1 ranked team in the country. And they came here to A&M and took the opening game of this series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They do. They looked fearless, and then we also talked about the energy that the Razorbacks brought yesterday to game 1. It just felt like the whole team was hyping each other up and just felt like they had a lot of momentum with them throughout most of yesterday's game.
We mentioned it. There were over 2,300 here last night. One way to take them out of it is to get to a 6-0 lead eventually. A&M made a mad dash to the finish, but Arkansas ended up holding on for the 7-5 win. That's a nice play by Coco Woolley to get Kennedy Miller.
Coco Woolley going up the middle, flashing the leather, showing that range.
So top of the order and Reagan Johnson. You see she walked already. Top of the first inning was a golden opportunity for the Razorbacks. This game started with Reagan Johnson walking on 4 pitches. Right behind her, Reagan Kramer walked. So in the top of 1, 2 Razorbacks were aboard. Nobody was out, and Bree Ellis was coming to the plate. But the next 3 Arkansas hitters, starting with Ellis, went down. Razorbacks nothing across, despite a great chance at it in their first time to the plate as a team.
Like I said, that's exactly what Arkansas is looking to do when you've got Reagan Johnson and Reagan Kramer kicking off your lineup. Both of them incredibly high on base percentages. Reagan Johnson at 440, Reagan Kramer at 500. They're almost always getting on base, which gives Bree Ellis the opportunity to drive them in. And then also freshman Ella McDowell behind Bri Ellis. They like that combination with Ella at the 4-hole because it gives Bri some protection in that 3 spot. But again, it starts with Reagan Johnson and Reagan Kramer and their consistency, just constantly able to work their way on, whether it's putting the ball in play. They both have really good eyes and good plate discipline, so they're also able to work quite a few walks.
Oh, Reagan Johnson hanging in there. Fouled another 2-strike pitch away. She's exactly the kind of runner you want to keep off base. You see where she ranks in Arkansas's history. That was coming into this weekend, these numbers coming into the series. Got to hurry if you're Woolley because of the speed, and she got her. And immediately Reagan Johnson's asking for a replay. But a nice play by Woolley. Reagan Johnson still saying that she's safe. No challenge yet from Courtney Deifel. We take another look at it, and I think she is out.
I think she's out. Listen, that's an excellent play by Coco Woolley to get the speedy Reagan Johnson. She just gets her. But I'll tell you what, she basically had to catch and immediately transfer, make a good throw off of her back foot. But Reagan Johnson knows almost every time she can beat that out because she can get out of the box very quickly.
That's what makes me laugh. The speedy runners, if you're Reagan Johnson, if you're a Coco Woolley, if you're a Kendra Falby from Florida, they always think they're safe.
Every time.
No way they got me.
Every time.
I'm too fast.
Impossible.
Yeah. But you could tell by that replay she was out. But Reagan Johnson, she couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. How did they
Could
get
not
me?
be. I love the confidence.
I do, yes. The speedsters, they think they've beaten everything out if it's on the ground. A 2-1 count now to Reagan Kramer. Now 3-run. Arkansas trying to get their first base runner off of Emily Levitt.
Got to give Levitt a lot of credit for coming in at the top of the first, basically being able to silence some of the Arkansas bats.
Yeah, came in a 2-on, 1-out situation immediately. First inning of the game, and thus far has done excellent work against the Razorback lineup. Over into foul territory. Kennedy Powell and Emily Levitt continues to cruise for the Aggies. A&M stays out in front 2-0. Will Johnson, Donna Conrad with you. Game 2 of the series. Top 10 matchup between the Texas A&M Aggies and the Arkansas Razorbacks. So much at stake. We're late in SEC play. Everybody has one weekend left after this one. For A&M, they're going to go to Tennessee next weekend. It's not out of the question that that's the #1 ranked team in the nation, Tennessee, against the #2 team, A&M. Could have a 1 versus 2 matchup to close out conference and regular season play in Knoxville next weekend.
Man, but what a great way to get prepped if you aren't already for the SEC tournament and then, of course, the NCAA tournament.
Kennedy Powell, Carly Davison had to back up on that, but she makes the play.
Davison's made another couple nice plays over at second base today. Like I said earlier, the transfer from Utah, Courtney Deifel, said she really anchors the infield. We've seen her do a really nice job at second base.
Here's Amari Harper. Harper's 1 for 4 in the series. Has some strikeouts this weekend. She struck out looking earlier today. But a fantastic season for her. That just crossed the line, rolls into foul territory.
Something a little bit different from yesterday. We didn't see the Aggies play much small ball, which we know that they have the capability to do throughout their lineup. We just didn't see it yesterday. Trying to test this Arkansas defense.
Yeah, they've laid down a couple of bunts today, or at least attempted to,
right.
I should say. Popped up, foul territory. Ella McDowell will retire Amari Harper.
First baseman number 24, Maya Perez.
Maya Perez 0 for 1 in this game. Well, we've touted this as a top 10 matchup. In the polls, you see A&M is 2, Arkansas is 9. If you look at the RPI, A&M is number 1 in the nation. Arkansas is 7, so it gets even better where it really counts in the RPI. That's why both of these two think they could be a top 8 national seed come selection day. And the winner of this series will only boost that resume.
That's right. I mean, both teams have the numbers to back it up. Look at A&M, almost half of their schedule is against RPI top 25 opponents.
And we mentioned this last night. I mean, you can't find a blemish in the A&M resume. There just is none. There's no such thing as a bad loss. It's all good wins. They're pushing for first place in the SEC. Strength of schedule's immaculate.
Right, and we were talking about, you know, when you mentioned the SEC coming into play, A&M, I don't know that since joining the league they've been in the position that they're in. We're headed into the final 2 weeks of the regular season, this series and the next, that they're in a position that they could take the SEC regular season.
Courtney Deifel visits the circle with Mac Barbara coming up. Barbara steps to the plate with a runner on base. That's the situation she was in the bottom of the first, and she delivered.
No doubt about this one. Mac Barbara, that pitch up in the zone, but gets her hands up and able to extend through that one. We know Mac's got a ton of pop in that bat. 72 miles an hour. Takes that one well over the fence in right field.
It was Barbara's 9th home run of the year, and she now has 54 RBIs on the season.
And it looks like they might try and intentionally walk Mac Barbara here. Yeah, they're going to.
That just means this ball 5, ball 6, ball 7 chant, the number's just going to keep growing. They don't give you a reprieve for an intentional walk on this.
They do not.
They keep it coming.
Not the most in sync chant I've heard collectively from Davis Diamond or Bluebell Park. But they're still going.
But they'll get to ball 9 as Coco Woolley comes to the plate.
Looks like they're going to bring out a pinch runner.
They will for Mac Barbara at second base, Scout Lovell.
For Maya Perez at second base.
Excuse me, yeah, Maya Perez. Mac Barbara will run at first base.
Ball 5, or the ball 5 chance got to you, Will. It's fine.
That's right. It's mesmerized. It's hypnotic.
They'll lull you with
Put
the,
you into
with the ball
trance.
5 chance.
That goes to the backstop as they'll get to ball 10 now. So the pinch runner, Scout Lovell, moves to third. Mac Barbara goes to second. Got a strike over and a 1-1 count to Coco Woolley. So still a chance to get out of this if you're Burnham, because she did retire the first 2 Aggies to the plate this inning. Then the 2 walks. Hard hit and a bit of contact out there at shortstop, but Rio throws out Coco Woolley. A&M will strand a couple of runners in scoring position. She leads all active collegiate softball players. But you know what? The Aggies have done a pretty nice job against her this weekend.
Absolutely, other than an infield single yesterday. And a hit by pitch, they've been able to keep Bri Ellis off the base paths.
And we felt that infield single yesterday, it was a hit. It was not well struck. She got one in on the hands, and it was possibly a play the Aggies could have made.
I think if you ask the Aggies, they would agree that somebody's got to make that play.
Turned on one. That's toward the A&M bullpen. Grace Sparks tried to run that down in the A&M bullpen, tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch, and she couldn't quite get there. Turned her outfield shoes on there to try.
Just a quick drop step in the bullpen.
That's over there near Kramer Eshte in left field, who has made some amazing catches for the Aggies, and Eshte might be laughing at her relief pitcher in the bullpen right now. Eshte could tell Grace Sparks, let me show you how to make it look easy.
That's right. Kramer Eshte makes a whole lot of catches look easy out in left field.
Well, Grace Sparks may get another chance. She's not going to go for this one.
She
That was
said
hit too
forget it.
hard on a line.
Bri Ellis trying to extend her 20-game on-base streak. That's a career high for her as well.
Will that stay in play? I think it's going to get out of here. It just did get up against the netting as Kennedy Powell went out and Kramer Eshte came over and in. They won't get a chance as it got to the net before they can make a grab at it. Emily Levitt trying to retire Bri Ellis. Levitt has been terrific, and a 2-2 count to Ellis. I mean, they are throwing in on Ellis. She's turned on quite a few.
She has, and a couple times they've been able to get in on her hands a little bit deeper and jam her up a little bit, but we've seen her foul off a couple shots down the left field line.
That's off speed, and Ellis got into this one off the light pole.
Well, it was only a matter of time for Bri Ellis. This one hangs a little bit too much over the plate. Still on that inner half. You see Ellis keeps her hands in, stays in her legs. Is able to hit that one off the light post in left field.
And now you face Ella McDowell, who had the 3-run homer last night. Each team has one hit. The Aggies hit a 2-run homer by Mac Barbara. Arkansas's hit a solo homer by Bri Ellis. Last night it was 3 Aggie errors that were somewhat the difference in the game. Well, what's the difference today? An error on Arkansas before the Mac Barbara home run that allowed Kennedy Powell to run. She was on base when Barbara launched that homer. So we're halfway through game 2 of this weekend. Defensive miscues, they are a part of the story.
Well, when you talk about these top 10 matchups, really any SEC matchup for that matter, it seems to be whoever can make the least amount of mistakes is going to come away with a win.
Oh, this could be a terrific defensive play. Not in time at first base. What an effort by Coco Woolley. Could not quite get Ella McDowell. That'll be the second hit of the game for the Razorbacks. Infield single, well struck by McDowell.
We saw Coco Woolley earlier go up the middle. This one towards the 5-6 hole, a shot. Full extension from her knee, tries to make that throw. Just not in time and scoots by Maya Perez at first, but great effort by Woolley.
That hit the bag. That hopped up on Maya Perez and got into right field down the line. Arkansas with runners on the corners with nobody out. That was off the bat of Kaylee Wyckoff.
Another hard hit ball here by the Hogs. But this one kind of just where it's placed. This gets in on Wyckoff's hands. Like you said, bounces off of the first base bag. Maya Perez unable to adjust. Now it's first and third with no outs. And we've got another change for the Aggies.
Arkansas with runners at the corners, tying run at third base, Lessentine. Sydney Lessentine, she threw to the first 3 batters of this game, and then Tricia Ford came and got her and put Emily Levitt in. Now, Sydney Lessentine returns to the circle for the Aggies in a jam with Courtney Day at the plate.
Well, we said this might happen after Sydney Lessentine faced the first 3 batters of the game. We've seen Tricia Ford use this before, bring in a reliever early, and then come back to the starter. I don't know how long she was planning on keeping Emily Levitt in the game, but except for the blemish of the Bri Ellis home run, Emily Levitt came in and did what she was supposed to do, which is keep the Razorbacks off the base paths.
Base hit into left field. Arkansas has tied the game. Courtney Day drives in Ella McDowell. 4 straight hits to start the 4th for the Razorbacks.
This one, middle, a little bit up in the zone. Day, the senior, continues to have a nice series at the plate, sends this one to left, drives in a run, and ties this ball game up.
So the 4th inning, the Ellis home run, and then singles by McDowell, Wyckoff, and Day. Natalia Urijo swinging a miss. Urijo flew out deep to center field back in the 2nd inning. Squared around, but the pitch was way out and up. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Arkansas for the first 3 innings without a hit. 4 hits already here in the 4th. Nice pitch by Sydney Lesentine, and she got Natalia Rijo looking.
Well, that's a huge strikeout for the freshman. The way she flips her hand over on that change. Able to lock up Rijo. That's a big first out in the inning.
So now it's Carly Davison. Went outside, swing and a miss. Davison down in the count 0-2. Earlier, she hit a looping liner into right field. It was run down by Amari Harper. Just a pitch away on an 0-2. A&M got their 2 runs in the bottom of the first. Arkansas has tied it in the top of the fourth. Another looping type liner into right field. This one much easier on Amari Harper. She didn't have to move too far. 2 outs. So Kennedy Miller will have to deliver with 2 outs if Arkansas is to take the lead here. That's in foul territory when Powell got to it. She'll touch the bag before Wyckoff got there, but again, foul territory, so a dead ball. To the backstop, so a couple of Razorbacks will be in scoring position. That makes this situation a bit bigger. 2 outs, 2 in scoring position in a 2-2 tie game. Chopped, and that'll end the inning. Powell throws out Miller. Arkansas gets 2, and they'll strand 2 in scoring position.
Bree Ellis sends this one over the left field wall. Razorbacks tie it up in the top of the fourth. Well, how cool is that? Kendall Richards, her 2 seasons here at A&M after she transferred from Cal Berkeley. She's also the Aggies' all-time leading hitter in batting average here.
1996 All-American as well. Watching her daughter Peyton Burnham pitch for the Arkansas Razorbacks back in College Station where she played her softball, but you were looking back at Kendall Richards and her career, and she didn't stop in College Station, Texas, that's for sure.
She did not. After she finished up here as an Aggie, she joined the Women's Professional Softball League and played in that. And then when that was over, she had recently married her husband, Jake Burnham, and he was playing minor league ball for the San Angelo Colts. And so her season wrapped up, and on a Tuesday, she arrives in San Angelo, tries out for the minor league baseball team, the San Angelo Colts, and then Wednesday fills a vacant roster spot.
Played minor league baseball.
Played minor league baseball, first husband and wife duo to play minor league baseball on the same team. If that's not impressive enough, Kendall Richards became the 3rd woman to play in regular season minor league games. And I thought that was just the coolest thing I've heard in quite some time.
Nothing short of incredible. And her daughter just struck out, Allie Enright looking. Terrific story. And Kendall watches Peyton pitch back home somewhat here in College Station.
When Courtney Deifel talked about Peyton Burnham being absolutely fearless We watched her come into a big situation last night in relief. Got the job done. And then after giving up that home run in the first to Mac Barbara, she has done a good job of settling in. There's been a little bit of traffic on the base paths, but the Aggies have been unable to push any runs across, and it's no wonder Peyton Burnham in the circle is a fierce competitor, fearless. Her parents have the background to back
Gets
that
it
up.
from mom, doesn't she?
That's right. No doubt.
But you're right. She fell down 2-0 immediately, and then has simply done her job, kept Arkansas in this game. And the Razorbacks rallied back a half inning ago. So we're even at 2. If Arkansas wins today, they take the series. If the Aggies win, series is even and will be decided tomorrow. Tomorrow's finale has a noon first pitch. Burnham got in right to start the inning, has KK Dement down a ball and 2 strikes. Dement tried to go back up the middle. Italia Rijo with a nice play, covering some ground.
We've seen some great defensive plays on both sides today. Italia Rijo showing her range up the middle. Turns and fires a strike over to Bree Ellis. Keeps KK Dement off the bases.
So it's a freshman matchup. Burnham in the circle, D.D. Baldwin at the plate. Trying to land that in shallow left, can't do it because Italia Rijo covers more ground. Goes back into the shallow part of the top of the order for Arkansas and Reagan Johnson. So A&M 13-5 in SEC play. Half game behind Oklahoma for first place. And you kind of alluded to this earlier. A&M earlier this year at Georgia got a game rained out. So as it stands, the Aggies will play one less game than everybody else. So that half game we talk about with the Aggies, whether they're out in front or behind the Sooners right now for the top spot in the league, that half game is going to loom over us probably for the rest of the schedule, for all of us in the SEC.
Right.
Got that into center field. It's a base hit for Reagan Johnson.
Well, you saw the A&M defense was pulled in for Reagan Johnson, but able to slap this one over the infield into shallow center. And again, leading off, getting on base, so key for this Razorbacks lineup and the speed that Johnson provides on the bases.
And it's Reagan Kramer at the plate, inside on the first pitch to her. So last night for the top spot in the league, it flip-flopped. A&M lost, Oklahoma won. They beat Texas. So Oklahoma moves a half game ahead of the Aggies for first place. Oklahoma will play Texas again tonight at 6:30.
Well, you just look at the top half of the SEC standings. Half a game back, 2, 2.5, 3. Bunch of teams around 4, 4.5.
Now, there's not a lot of time left, but there's still a lot to be decided. Stealing second base is Reagan Johnson. She's now 18 out of 20 this year on her stolen base attempts. Count is 1-2 to Reagan Kramer. Go-ahead run is at second base for Arkansas. Outside, and it's 2-2. That got under the glove of KK DeMint. A run is coming home. And again, an error rears its head on the Aggies. Another costly one. Johnson scores and Arkansas leads.
An uncharacteristic error here from KK DeMint at second, who's very sure-handed. Bleeds into shallow right, but no chance at getting the speedy Reagan Johnson.
Now you got to face Bree Ellis. Now Johnson would have been at third base on that ground ball. Would have been one out, runner on third for Arkansas. Instead, nobody out. Arkansas takes the lead. Bree Ellis at the plate with Kramer on first base.
Well, it just feels like one of those momentum shifters as well. This one kind of been back and forth between both teams as far as who felt like they had a little bit more momentum. And again, the Razorbacks just able to capitalize when the Aggies make a mistake.
Three errors last night by A&M. It helped Arkansas to 3 unearned runs. An error here helps Arkansas to the lead on this Saturday. And a 4-pitch walk issued to Bree Ellis. So still nobody out, and Ella McDowell to the plate.
And Ella McDowell is putting together a really nice weekend at the plate last night, going 2 for 4 with that 3-run home run. She's 1 for 2 today. And she got another chance with runners on base to extend Arkansas's lead. Last night she broke that game open. It was 3-0, that 3-run home run. Made it 6-0 Hogs.
Down the line, that just went foul. Nothing foul about her shot last night. It went off the scoreboard inside the pole and left. Biggest swing of the game is a 3-run shot.
No doubt. This one got out of here in a hurry. She fired up her teammates, and it was enough to get the Razorbacks a win in game 1.
Now a base hit to right field. Everybody will move up one base. Loaded with Razorbacks, nobody is out. Ella McDowell continues a terrific weekend. Reagan Kramer at third, Bree Ellis at second, now McDowell at first. Trisha Ford out talking with home plate umpire Alex Leap. She was headed out toward the circle, but now a conversation with her freshman catcher, Dee Dee Baldwin. She's going to go to the bullpen. So Lessentine started the game. And then it was Emily Levitt back to Lessentine. Now it'll be Caitlin Munnerlyn. Kate Munnerlyn comes in for the Aggies. This is her 11th appearance of the year. All but one of those are in relief. So Kate Munnerlyn, the freshman from Los Gatos, California, she's thrown in 17 and 2/3 innings.
The Aggies hand the ball to another freshman pitcher. This time it's Kate Munnerlyn. She's going to throw in the mid-60s. She does have a nasty changeup. And what you need right now in the circle is a fierce competitor with the bases loaded, no outs. This is a big situation.
And Kate Munnerlyn steps in a jam, facing Kaylee Wyckoff. Nice pitch, swing and a miss. So Emily Levitt and Sydney Lessentine, they both pitched in this one. You see the line on Lessentine. Fouled away in a 1-2 count. A&M took the lead on this Saturday, 2-0 in the bottom of the first on the Mac Barbara home run. Arkansas tied the game with 2 in the fourth. They've taken the lead with a run here in the fifth, and they're looking for much more. Loaded and nobody out, and now a 2-2 count as Kate Munnerlyn faces Kaylee Wyckoff. Struck well to right field, over the head of Amari Harper. The Aggie defense has faltered in these last 2 days, and Arkansas will get a couple more. And I think this was misjudged by Harper in right field.
That ball well out of the zone. But Wyckoff stays through it. And Amari Harper misjudges this one. 2 runs come across for Arkansas. Still no outs. First and third, which sets up the senior Courtney Day. The Aggies desperately need some outs here.
Well, that's a single with 2 RBIs from Wyckoff, but it's a second play this inning that the Aggies feel like they should have made. There's an E4 this inning. There's that catch that Harper didn't make a moment ago. We've already talked about the 3 costly errors last night. Problems defensively for the Aggies throughout this weekend. They have changed that scoring of the last play. A&M's going to get McDowell in a rundown here and tag her out before she can get to home plate.
Well, that's a heads-up play at third base by Kennedy Powell. She saw Ella McDowell, break for home. And at this point, yeah, you want outs, but you also want to limit the damage. Right now, it's a 3-run game. But you don't want to further that deficit.
So originally, Wyckoff on that fly ball to right field that Harper misplayed, she was given a single and 2 RBIs. They have changed that to an error on Harper in right field. Second error of the inning for A&M. That's 5 errors this weekend in a little more than a game and a half. Natalia Rijo at the plate, out in front of that, off the end of the bat. Trickled foul behind home plate.
Nice off-speed pitch by Munnerlyn. You know, Trisha Ford's talked about, well, she always wants something to be better. She's never 100% satisfied. And I think, obviously, that's part of the winning. But
goes and gets the lead runner at third base, keeping her foot on the bag, Kennedy Powell, as she reached up. How close was that to being thrown away? Nice reach, nice job by Kennedy Powell.
Kennedy Powell continues just be a solid presence over at the hot corner.
Carly Davison at the plate.
You know, Trisha Ford, she's talked about how some weekends, you know, they'll have, obviously most of their weekends have been great. And she'll talk about, yeah, we still need to clean up a couple things. I think this weekend, the big talking point is going to be continuing to work on the defense. This is uncharacteristic for the #2 team in the country.
Arkansas has a pinch runner in the game at second base in Ramsey Walker. So in the fifth, it's Arkansas, 5 runs, 6 hits, and an error. A&M, 2 runs, 1 hit, and 2 errors. Part does her job. Up 3, bottom 5. Frankie Vrajel is in the game now and leads off for the Aggies here in this frame. Hitting for Kramer Eshte. A&M just 1 hit in this one. It was a Mac Barbara home run, and it was all the way back in the first inning.
Yeah, you got to give some credit to Peyton Burnham for after that home run being able to pretty much shut it down for the Aggie offense. 3 scoreless innings. And then the Razorback offense able to provide some run support over the 4th and 5th.
Vrajel hit that hard, tough play for Carly Davison, and Vrajel will run likely the second hit of the game for A&M. So Vrajel comes in, gets a base hit.
Frankie Vrajel has just been so consistent, especially when her number's called. She played quite a bit early on in the season when Amari Harper was rehabbing that finger injury. And anytime that she comes in, she just looks so confident, consistently able to provide a spark for this Aggie offense.
Just the second hit of the game for A&M. First hit since the first inning. Top of the order now, Kennedy Powell. Hitters count. Took that pitch, and it's 2-1 now. Powell today has reached on an error and grounded out. Quick show of the bunt, quickly pulled back, and a 3-1 count. If A&M's going to get a rally going and start a comeback, they're going to need base runners. Powell a chance to get aboard right after Vrajel put herself on. This will be a much easier play for Carly Davison, and Powell not aboard, thrown out. Vrajel goes to second base. Amari Harper came into the weekend with the highest conference average of anyone in the SEC. 1 pitch in here against Burnham. She flies out to left field. And Burnham is starting to douse the flames on a A&M inning that saw the leadoff hitter get on and the second hitter go to a 3-ball count. Inning is changed on a dime, and there's 2 down. Maya Perez back up the middle. That's a nice play, and the runner fell down at third base. Vrajel gets back. Nice play up the middle, or else Vrajel likely scores.
Well, that's just a tough break for A&M because I think you're right, Will. Frankie Vrajel probably would have been able to score. Even though I believe Davison able to come up with that one in shallow center. But again, Vragel's got some speed. Rounding third, she completely wiped out and had to hurry back to third base. But it does bring Mac Barber to the plate.
Well, she had the home run earlier. If she were to do it again, she could tie the game.
Well, last at bat, the Razorbacks intentionally walked her with a free base. Will they do it here with 2 outs? And it looks like they will.
Yep. Set up way to the outside is the catcher, Kennedy Miller. And they'll be okay with loading the bases here. And Coco Woolley coming up next. This will create a bit of a moment. But like you said, Peyton Burnham, she kind of pitches with no fear as a freshman. And she's going to face a 2-out bases loaded situation.
Well, and if you're Coco Woolley coming into this spot, she's in that spot to protect Mac Barbara. And so here's an opportunity. And because of how dynamic of a hitter Coco Woolley can be with her speed, she can slap, she can drop a bunt, she can stand in and hit. It makes her really tough to defend. But here's a big moment for the senior. With the bases loaded, a base hit could change this ball game.
Big moment, bottom of the 5th. Outside to Coco Woolley on the first pitch. Cole striking it, evens things up, 1-1. Woolley today has flown to left and grounded out to shortstop. 0 for 2. Flown to left here, and under it, Reagan Kramer. Big pitch by Peyton Burnham, and she turns the Aggies away for A&M.
Will, when you look at that team comparison, the big stat that stands out to me is actually the walks. A&M walked 8 times. Arkansas only walked 4. Now that doesn't include hit by pitches, but A&M not able to capitalize on the free passes.
Well, they've had their chances, and the glaring inning today was the last frame, leaving them loaded. Arkansas sent 8 hitters to the plate in that 5th inning. 3-run frame in which they took the lead. They keep swinging it. That almost got into center field. Thought it was going into center field, but that's how quick Coco Woolley is to get over there and make the play.
It's probably one of the maybe 3 hits that Coco Woolley's taken away from the Razorbacks. Another nice job cutting that ball off from getting into center field, and then a bullet over to first base.
Top of the order, and Reagan Johnson She singled, walked, and scored a run today. 1 for 2. Not an easy play. Kennedy Powell almost made it. With the speed of Reagan Johnson, she'll run.
We saw it a couple at bats ago for Reagan Johnson. Every time she hits the ball, especially into that area of the field, she thinks she's safe, and that one, she definitely was.
Trying to turn 2, not in time. Off the bat of Reagan Kramer, there's 2 outs now. Bree Ellis to the plate, launched her 23rd home run of the year earlier. She's 2 shy of the Arkansas single season record. Kate Munnerlin trying to throw up a 0 in the 6th. Check swing, called strike. Kate Munnerlin, nice pitch. And another nice pitch on the inner half.
Well, again, the Aggies continuing to attack that inner half of the plate on Bree Ellis, challenging her to get her hands out. They know what she can do on pitches on the outer half of the plate. You obviously don't want to put anything over the middle, but the outer half to even the chalk of the left-handed batter's box, we've seen her put out.
Now she's lifted one deep to left, off the top of the scoreboard, and she adds a couple more to it. 24th home run of the year for Bree Ellis, her 2nd of the day. 7-2 Razorbacks.
Well, this one about belt high and over the middle of the plate. Bree Ellis able to do damage, 75 miles an hour off the bat. She provides so much power. And if that didn't hit off the top bar of the scoreboard, that estimated distance, 262 feet. That's an absolute moonshot.
Wow.
Sheesh. And just like that.
She keeps playing that video game.
Yes.
And breaking the high score.
Without
that's
a doubt.
happening.
Without a doubt. Now
what
she's
a season.
1 home run away from tying the single season record, just like that.
And she will, so you mentioned, yeah, she 1 more home run, she ties Arkansas' single season record. She's likely going to crush the single season record for batting average at Arkansas. She came down here to College Station already 50 points ahead of that record, and she hadn't really done anything to hurt that.
Yeah, she was quiet game 1, but game 2, she's made her presence felt here at Davis Diamond.
Remember early in this game, I said the Aggies had done a pretty good job against her?
You did say that.
Well, Bree Ellis was
we won't tell anybody
going to
here
ignite
that she
at
said
some
that.
point, yeah. Yeah.
She heard you, Will.
That statement did not hold.
No, she said, watch me.
No doubt. And she just hit, well, she's actually hit 2, no doubt, home runs today. Arkansas once down 2-0. Well out in front now and poised to take this series at number 2, A&M. Back up the middle and a base hit for Ella McDowell. McDowell 3 hits today. That's after a 3-run homer last night for her.
That's Arkansas's 9th hit of the game. Just feels like 1 through 9 today. So many different hitters in this lineup able to contribute. And another 7 spot for the Razorbacks.
Coming in, nice catch on the run by the new right fielder, Frankie Vrajel. But another Bree Ellis home run.
An absolute moonshot off the bat of Bree Ellis. Razorbacks take a 7-2 lead in the 6th.
Standing Aggies running out of time. They trailed 6-0 last night after 4.5 innings. Couldn't quite come all the way back. Lost to the Razorbacks 7-5. And here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Peyton Burnham and Arkansas leading A&M 7-2. So the Aggies have to make it happen and make it happen in a hurry. Allie Enright leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. And what a boost Arkansas would get to that resume if they take a series down here at A&M, who is number 2 in the polls and number 1 nationally in the RPI. And again, Arkansas, they've already got a series win on the road against Tennessee, the current number 1 team in the nation in the polls. They could come down here and get a series from number 2 A&M. There's still a weekend left. Arkansas will host LSU in Fayetteville next weekend, but if they get this series, they've got to feel fantastic about their chances to get that coveted top 8 national seed that they're looking for when the NCAA tournament field is selected. But a 4-pitch walk to start off the bottom of the 6th to Allie Enright.
Well, similar to what we said last night, when you're trying to come back from a 5-run deficit at this point in the game, it's going to be all about passing the bat to try and get the tying run to the plate.
Out in front, KK Dement on that pitch, swing and a miss. Dement skies this one very high to left, and Reagan Kramer is waiting on it. There's one out. A&M just the 3 hits today. Mac Barber, the 2-run homer in the 1st inning, and then a couple of singles in the 5th inning by Maya Perez and Frankie Vrajel.
Well, now it looks like A&M is going to go to the bench for a pinch hitter. I think it's going to be Kylie Griffin.
It would be Dee Baldwin due up in this spot, the A&M catcher. But you are correct, Donna. Pinch hitter, and it's Kylie Griffin coming up.
The Aggies just have not been able to get on Peyton Burnham. They're trying to find some sort of spark here late in the game.
Looked like it went foul before Ella McDowell fielded that, and it is foul. Peyton Burnham through 5 1/3 has allowed 2 runs, but just the 1 earned run. Check this out again. Crossed the line, and yeah, just did go foul. Swing and a miss by Griffin. And a 1-2 count. Over to it, Reagan Johnson, 2 outs. The Aggies get a leadoff walk, but have not been able to move Allie Enright yet. Bottom of the order, and Frankie Vrajel. As I told you, she has one of the 3 A&M hits today. Came in as a pinch hitter an inning ago, got a single. And Arkansas, as we speak, 4 outs away from a massive series victory down here in College Station. One and one on a swing and a miss. Peyton Burnham, just 2 strikeouts today, hasn't needed the K. She's been very efficient. She's worked around a few walks. 2 of those are intentional walks. 5 total walks for Burnham today, but 2 of those intentional walks. Chopped. Kind of came together on the left side of the infield, and the ball bounced away. McDowell and Rio, some problems over there. Ball bounced away from both of them as they converged, and the Aggies will have 2 runners on with 2 outs.
Well, it just looks like as McDowell's crossing over to go get that, Rio running in. And at the last second, I think Rio loses it. As McDowell comes across, McDowell pulls the glove away. And now it's first and second with 2 outs for the Aggies.
Top of the order, and Kennedy Powell. It's going to go as an infield single for Vrajel, so she has 2 hits since entering this game. Wasn't going to be an easy play over there on the left side of the infield because it was such a high chopper.
Right, especially with Vrajel's speed.
Kennedy Powell and keep first place in the league. If they don't come back, they'll drop a full game behind the Sooners, and then Oklahoma plays tonight against Texas. If A&M drops this game, it's Oklahoma at 14-5, and then A&M and Texas tied for second at 13-6. That would be the standings at the end of this one if A&M drops it, and then that would head into the Oklahoma-Texas game, which starts in 30 minutes in Norman. Grace Sparks in the circle now for A&M. She came into the game late last night.
Grace Sparks, mid-60s. She's going to throw a lot of low stuff. Last night we saw a lot of ground balls. That's what her job is when she comes in. Not going to be a super heavy strikeout pitcher, but keeps the ball low, and when that drop ball's working, it falls off a shelf.
So Courtney Day leads it off. She's 1 for 3 in this game. She had the solo home run last night. Courtney Day, a solid weekend, keeps that going, leads off with a single here in the 7th.
Like you said, Courtney Day having a solid weekend at the plate. Between the home run last night, even when she hasn't necessarily gotten a hit, just her approach has been good.
Clarijo. Arkansas not settling for 7. They're looking for some insurance here. Before A&M gets their last chance. $11 hits now for Arkansas. They've out-hit A&M 11-4.
Well, this is kind of a wild stat, but under Courtney Deifel, 153-1 when they score 8 or more runs.
It's kind of the magic number, isn't it?
Right.
They need one more. They've won 91 games in a row when they hit the 8-run mark. 91 wins in a row when they score 8 or more runs. They've only lost, as you just saw there, as you said, they only lost once in the Deifel era when they get to 8 runs at least.
I mean, you're basically saying it's automatic
Yeah.
if you score 8 runs, which
shut down stuff right there.
Again, it seems, you know, you look at that and go, well, yeah, 8 runs should be enough. But a lot of things also have to go right. Some of these games, a lot of these games can end up being pretty high scoring.
Yeah, no doubt. So 1 out on the line out by Carly Davison. Into the glove of Frankie Vragel. Looks like a pinch hitter here for Arkansas. They'll bring Carly Ratcliffe into the game. Ratcliffe steps in for Kennedy Miller, the catcher. This is in the 9 hole, so you go back to the top of the order next. Runs, hits, and errors, 7-11-1 for Arkansas. 2-4-2 for A&M. The Aggies' last chance at the plate coming up. Due up for A&M. It's 2-3-4. Harper, Perez, and Barbara, and they'll need a whole lot more than that. Arkansas not done here in the top of the 7th. Still looking for that insurance. Still looking for that, what's been that magical 8th run for them. Line out. Ratcliffe hit it right at Kennedy Powell. 2 outs. Reagan Johnson fouled that away. Center field, run down out there. And the Aggies' last chance coming up since. Amari Harper steps up, 0 for 3 in this game.
Give Peyton Burnham so much credit. After giving up that 2-run shot in the first, just 3 hits after that, and she has pretty much silenced a potent A&M lineup. Got out of a couple jams as well, bases loaded. She's been pretty fearless in the circle today.
Oh, that's a nice stop by Ella McDowell. The Arkansas Razorbacks flashing some leather in the last couple of innings. Ella McDowell with a terrific play.
Ella McDowell, no doubt, robs a base hit from Amari Harper, showing why Arkansas leads the nation in fielding percentage.
It's actually 2 plays in a row because the last A&M inning ended with a terrific diving catch by Reagan Johnson in center field. This inning starts for the Aggies with Ella McDowell robbing Amari Harper of a base hit. Maya Perez. Perez thought she had drawn a 4-pitch walk. Instead, 3-1. She does walk 1 pitch later. Mac Barbara hit her 9th home run of the year back in the first inning, and then Arkansas has not let her hit since. Came up in the 3rd inning, was intentionally walked. Came back up in the 5th inning, same thing. She was intentionally walked again. Now she gets her chance in the 7th. 1-1. That hit off the top of the wall. Sliding over there, Reagan Kramer, but no chance to get it. Good effort, but no chance to run that down. Over 100 pitches now for Peyton Burnham. And she tries to go out and defeat the number 2 team in the country. Burnham with a win here would run her record to 11-2 this season. Mac Barbara got that through the right side, base hit. Last night, A&M trailed 7-3 going to the bottom of the 7th. They were able to put up 2 runs and get the tying run to the plate before falling 7-5. They have 2 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th today, trailing 7-2.
Mac Barber, a protective 2-strike swing on that one, serves it into right field. Turns, looks into the Aggie dugout, trying to fire him up a little bit.
Coco Woolley coming to the plate, and A&M will get a pinch runner in for Maya Perez. It's Haley Golden. Two balls, no strikes to Coco Woolley. Woolley looking for her first hit of this series. Two and two after the foul ball.
She's coming off an SEC Co-Player of the Week honors. She hit really well up in Columbia, 750 against Missouri.
Full count. Left center field, running that down is Reagan Kramer. Allie Enright is the Aggies' last chance. So again, if A&M falls for the moment, they would drop into a tie for second place in the SEC with Texas. If Arkansas finishes this off, it would be Oklahoma 14-5 on top of the SEC, and A&M and Texas 13-6, a game back. And then OU and Texas will play tonight in Norman. I say tonight, that's a game that will start in about 15 minutes. Oklahoma won yesterday over Texas 7-6. Arkansas would bump up to 12-8 in conference play. And for the moment would be 2.5 games back of first place. So the Razorbacks still looming out there. 4-pitch walk to Allie Enright. But all that I just gave you is predicated on Arkansas finishing this off. They do have a 7-2 lead. The Aggies do have the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Second baseman, number 16,
KK Dement. If Dement could get aboard, the tying run would come to the plate.
KK Dement, another freshman in the SEC who's having an outstanding year. Let's not forget, she's got some pop in that bat too. She's got 10 home runs. And she tends to hit really well with the bases juiced.
That got foul. Went right across the line before it was fielded by Ella McDowell. A&M's had some late chances. They stranded the bases loaded in the 5th without scoring a run. Stranded 2 on in the 6th without getting a run across. They have bases loaded here in the 7th. A&M has left 8 on base today. Arkansas has left 9 on. 3-1. Burnham has pitched well. She's trying to finish it off, but she walks Dement. That will bring a run home. That is the 8th walk today by Burnham. But again, 2 of those are intentional walks. It's 7-3. The bases are still loaded, so the tying run will come to the plate.
And it looks like the Razorbacks are going to go to the bullpen. We're going to see Robin Herron try and get the final out of this game.
Herron was the starter and the winner last night. She went 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. She ran her record to 15-4, getting the win. She started and won it last night. She's trying to finish things off for the Razorbacks today. Bases loaded with Aggies when we come back. So Robin Herron comes on, and she's trying to finish this off for the Razorbacks. Bases loaded with Aggies, 2 outs. A&M down 7-3. She's set to face Dee Dee Baldwin, the freshman catcher for A&M.
Well, we saw her last night. Robin Herron, mid to high 60s. She's got a rise ball, that changeup. She'll throw in any count. She's got multiple different ways to throw that curveball.
First pitch up high. Aggies gave themselves a chance last night. They've given themselves a chance here today, but the Razorbacks need just that one more out. Way up and all the way to the backstop. None of the Aggies will risk advancing. Certainly don't want to make an out on the base paths to end the game, so they'll stay put.
Definitely not. That fired off the backstop. Basically right back at Miller at the plate.
So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Baldwin now, as Herron found the zone. Too high, 3-1. So a full count now with 2 outs. Check swing, pitch up high. She didn't go around. A walk by Baldwin, and another run comes home.
Three-two pitch up in the zone. Dee Dee Baldwin does hold up. The Aggies, another one crosses the plate. And we've talked so much about how A&M never feels like they're out of a game. Seems like regardless of how many outs are left, what inning it is, and they're showing it here that they will not go down without a fight.
They'll get a pinch runner in for Dee Dee Baldwin. It's Larissa Perez.
Next up to the plate,
Frankie Vrajel will hit. Swing and a miss. Looked a bit late. Perez, the pinch runner at first base, is the tying run. Looped left field, sliding and making the catch, Reagan Kramer, and that will end it. And the Razorbacks take the series. They win it last night 7-4, and on this Saturday, they win it last night 7-5. On this Saturday, they take it 7-4, and the Razorbacks get the series over second-ranked A&M.
Well, the bats came alive for the Razorbacks without a doubt in Game 2. They take the series here and will look to try and get the sweep tomorrow on the road against the second-ranked Aggies.